Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the seasonal models today for spring 2013. Yes, it's the first seasonal model roundup for spring 2013. I haven't got a huge amount of models we can use this month. We'll get more coming on next month, but there's certainly enough models to be going on with for this month. So we're going to have a quick look at what those models are predicting for the coming spring. Despite the fact we're only in December, thoughts are already beginning to turn to those warmer, sunnier days. I'm sure many of you are looking forward to the spring coming up. Now, before I go on video, I just want to talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad. It'll load below my videos at gazwebbiz.com. So please play those videos. You'll be supporting gazwebbiz.com by doing that. A few things I want to mention for videos coming up. We've got the historic videos coming up over Christmas Day. I'm going to be having a look at the Christmas snowstorm of 1927, and then on Boxing Day it's the big one. Yes, it's the winter of 62-63 historic video, the 29-minute epic look at the winter of 62-63. So do come back for Boxing Day if you're interested in that very extremely cold winter that we endured 50, or I should say enjoyed, perhaps if that's your point of view, 50 years ago. I also want to say that we've got weekend forecast coming up tomorrow on Christmas Eve. It would normally have been yesterday, but I've just altered things a little bit for Christmas, so weekend forecast will be tomorrow on Christmas Eve. And I want to say that all the websites that are going to be in this spring forecast can be found on my links page. So I'm going to start off with the UK Met Office, and we're starting off with the sea pressure anomaly from the seasonal model, and this is the sea surface pressure anomaly for March, April, May, the spring of 2013, and the model is predicting that we have above average heights, I should say here, above average pressure across much of Europe, Central Southern Europe. British Isles is in near normal pressure, and below average pressure is being predicted up to the northwest. So this is the same kind of pattern that the model is seeing for the winter. Actually, it sees it continuing through into the spring, which is basically a sort of zonal Atlantic based type pattern with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. But the consequences of that in spring are somewhat different to winter. And in terms of temperature, model is actually predicting a cooler than average spring. Here we've got these green colours here for March, April, May. The temperature anomaly for the spring is forecast to be cooler than average. Here's the scale down here, around half a degree to 1 degree below average. So cooler than average spring, despite the fact that the model is seeing an Atlantic base sort of spring. And in terms of precipitation, the model is predicting wetter than average spring as well, which wouldn't be a surprise really with the kind of pressure distribution that the model is seeing. You would expect above average precipitation. So it's going for quite a cool, quite a wet sort of Atlantic westerly type spring. And as I say, the consequences of those westerlies are different in spring to winter. And of course, if that goes on into summer, the consequences then would be for a very cool summer indeed. So what gives us the cool weather in the summer gives us the mild weather in the winter. Now we have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly for spring of 2013 from the Beijing Climate Centre. And we can see that the model is predicting above average heights here to the south of the British Isles, below average heights to the north. So again, this is the same kind of pressure distribution that the model is predicting for the winter. It's the same kind of distribution that the model sees going on into the spring. So again, you would expect this to be a westerly type spring with perhaps below average temperatures, and that indeed is what the model is predicting. Well, actually it's predicting near normal temperatures for the British Isles, but if we go further east, the temperature forecast is actually a little bit below average across many parts of Europe. And for precipitation, the model is seeing quite a wet spring as well, with those westerly winds. The model is seeing above average precipitation through the spring. Having a look at the CFS version 2 model, and again we've got a very similar pressure distribution. This is at 700 millibar height anomaly, so it's a slightly different area in the atmosphere to the 500 millibar height idea, but it's the same kind of idea really, and the model is seeing a very similar type pattern to the Met Office and to the Beijing Climate Centre, which is to have below average heights to the northwest, above average heights down to the southwest, but weaker than we see during the winter. And basically we've got a westerly type spring pattern being forecast there by the CFS model. For temperatures, the model is going for near normal temperatures across just about the whole of Europe, the British Isles included. And for precipitation, we're seeing slightly above average precipitation here for parts of England and Ireland, but really the signal is very, very weak there, and that's something that you tend to find with the CFS models from to such a long time out. It has a job to pick up the signal for temperature and precipitation, but certainly for the 700 millibar heights, it's a very similar idea to the Beijing Climate Centre and to the UK Met Office as well. Finally, have a look at the Jamstec IOD model. This is the last model we can look at for this first seasonal video for the spring of 2013, and the model is going for a colder than average spring here for the British Isles. It's been consistently going for a colder than average winter for the British Isles. It's still going for it this month, December, but for spring it's going for a colder than average spring here for the British Isles. And if we have a look at the precipitation anomaly for the spring of 2013, it's going for near normal precipitation here, a little bit below average to the south, above average to the north. So it's still suggesting the pattern that we have through the winter, but it's predicting goes on into the spring, which is for quite a bit of blocking to the north, with low pressure tracking on the jet stream, a southerly tracking jet stream to the south. So that's it for this first video for the spring of 2013. Not a lot to go on there really. We haven't got that many models. We'll have many more models to use next month in January. We'll have a lot more to go on then. But generally the trend from those models is quite similar, which is for quite a cool spring and probably quite an unsettled spring as well. And most of those models, nearly all of the models that we use in there, are going for above average rainfall this spring, and most of them are going for temperatures to be on the cool or below average side. So a cool, unsettled spring is the prediction from the seasonal models for this first update. But I have to emphasise, haven't got many models to go on. We'll have many more next month that we can use, and certainly I think January's update will be much more informative. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.